So first of all, I just want to correct one thing. There are many people over here. We have over here Rabbi Oster, who has been giving shiurim since the beginning of Masechta Brachos, who, Baruch Hashem, there's hundreds and hundreds of people who listen to him and who follow him in Masechta Sotah. And in fact, I have to give you a bigger shekayach because I've been learning Sotah since I'm 16 and I'm 36, right? 36, yeah, 36. And we all get to the sugya of Chavtes, Lamed, and it's just like, okay, just go further. It's like really Kabbalah. And this year I'm like, okay, I committed. And literally the night before, my wife asks me, what's going on? You look worried? And I said, usually when you look worried, it's a business deal or something. I'm like, no, I'm pashut, have trauma of Chavtes and Lamed. And I want to tell you, and I start go out of it, and I listened to other people, and I was trying it back and forth, and everybody just chafifa, as they say in Hebrew. But there's one guy over here, one Rosh Hashiva over here, who did it right, and that's official. And I said, thank you very much, because I was able to finally understand what was going on the Chavtes and Lamed, and I was able to convey that. Rabbi Mendy Ketlarsky just came before, and he tells me, my father, he wanted to be here. Meseches, he wanted to be here tonight. He couldn't make it, but he just wants to give me over a message. Thank you very much for being clear in Chavtes and Lamed. And I'm really thank you to you because I just took what you said and gave it over. So thank you very much. As I was called up to make a Siyum tonight, and before I start, I just want to give a few shekayachs for making this evening possible. First of all, I want to thank, of course, my Rebbetzin, Mirla, and the kids. It's one thing. I remember when Rabbi Oster started, and Rabbi Rotban, which we'll speak about later in the evening, exactly what Irgun Torah is, approached me and told me, what he wants to try to imbue in Crown Heights with shiurim. And I remember speaking to our official, and after Masechta Shabbos, he's like, I don't know if I can do this. This is a big commitment. And guess what? He just started now Masechta Gittin, and I Baruch Hashem, I financially support the shiurim since you start, and that's one madrega, to support. And then I have to say that once I started giving shiurim and realizing the Mr. Nefesh that you have every day to prepare, but not stam, pashut klor and good. And we have over here on my right over here, you'll see he doesn't look like a Lubavitcher, but he's really a Lubavitcher. It's the Vorker Rebbe he lives in Jackson, New Jersey, and I'm going to speak a little bit about what he does, and that's how I got involved. He's father by Masechta Brachos. When we finished, so Eli Marcus and I have a mutual friend. Actually, I have Remmel's friend as well. He's a musician in the industry, and I see on his WhatsApp status that he has he's going to be playing by a Masechta, a Siyum in Borough Park. And I asked him, "What's this all about?" So he tells me, "There's a Vorker Rebbe. He's making a Siyum on Brachos." I said, "Great. I'm coming." Now, I'm not that type of person to just crash parties or crash Siyumim in Borough Park. Something that was like an extra urge that was really calling me to get to the Siyum. I don't know why. I mean, I know why now, but it was like a ruach milmaila, not a ruach shtus as we learned, but it was mamash a ruach de kedusha that I have to make a Siyum. I have to go to Borough Park. Okay, so I call Mendel Prostin, who's my chavrusa, and I said, Mendel, we're going to Borough Park. What are we doing in Borough Park? I don't know. There's a Siyum. Okay, fine. We get in. I think Uri Frankel came with us, and maybe somebody else. I don't remember. And we met. I met the Vorker Rebbe, Avram Yishai, and the rest is history. I'm sure many of you have seen Siyumim, and this is Rabbi Shapiro, Rabbi Oster, and Rabbi Garari came to the Siyumim. We made Siyumim in Borough Park. We made Siyumim in Lakewood. And Rabbi Avram Yishai was very, very, because of him, that we had during the Hatzalathon and during the Siyum Sefer Torah, that we had a lot of connections in the non-Chabad world. And we always discuss together. He happens to be a Rebbe. His father, he took the position, Beles Breda, because after his father passed away during COVID. But he has an organization called Tzirei Adaf. What does Tzirei Adaf do? They take all the young chevra that are in business, and they push it, make sure that they're learning the Daf Yomi every day, and they have the shiurim that are clear. And he really brought together an organization and really idud v'chizuk every time they finish a Masechta. So many times, and I support him very much. I've been to the Siyumim. Rabbi Shapiro spoke in Lakewood, believe it or not. And Rabbi Oster spoke in Lakewood, believe it or not. And they spoke in Borough Park. And there's a really Kiddush Hashem and Kiddush Lubavitch. And Baruch Hashem, between both of us, we had the schus to really bring the different Kreisen, Lubavitch and not Lubavitch together. And I was speaking to Rabbi Oster one day, and he says, after, I think it was Lakewood or Borough Park, I don't remember where, and he says, Shloime, it's time that in Crown Heights we make a tziri adaf like Rabbi Avram does. I said, you're right. And for whatever reason, I said to myself, okay, I have to just continue supporting, in business, you're busy. There's people that are busy, they're busy doing nothing, but I'm busy. I can't give a shit, I'll support Siyum. Make a long story short, when it came this Shabbos Bereshis, those who know me know that I went into business beles breda. This is not something that I don't call myself a businessman. It's not something I ever wanted to get into. Whatever I happened, the Eibishter set me in my, as they say, libi chashka beteda. I always wanted to give shurim, and I told Rabbi Avram, I said, Avram, for the years I'm supporting you, now I want to start in my share. I saw where I am in the summer, I saw in Pomona, there's Pasha 30, 40 people coming to Rabbi Lowenbein's shir in Teda Ir and the Kutiteda. I said, it's time that we bring Crown Heights this shurim. And I reached out to a friend who's here tonight, who actually, he flew to Washington, D.C. He was supposed to be in Florida, and he canceled his trip to Florida to be back here tonight. This is Rabbi Avi Boaz. And I said to him, Avi, we have to start giving Sherman our shul. We have Baruch Hashem, nice Fabrengens, nice, but everything, but we have to bring Teda, we have to bring Chassidus into the shul. So he says, fine. So we started a Teda Ersher twice a week. I remember it was Pashas Neach, and we started twice a week. And I said, not that I understood Teda Er, the Kuta Teda, when I was a Bocher and Bechal, like Reb Simon said before, Lechatchila Riber, this was a Lechatchila Riber to jump into Teda Er and the Kuta Teda, not easy. But I said, we're going to do it, and we're going to have Siyata D'Shmaya. And Baruch Hashem, Avi, it's thanks to you and thanks to Shaiki's son, who wakes up every single morning at 5:30, and they make sure that the cameras are live and make sure that we have live feed. And we, Baruch Hashem, there's the internet is great in a good way if you use it for the right things. And Baruch Hashem, we went through a lot of Teda. Now we're learning Likutei Teda. We started, and that's why I asked Rabbi Garari to come tonight. He's going to speak a little bit about the project Likutei Sichos, exactly what it does, what it's all about, because there's many people over here that heard about it, but actually don't yet, are not involved. So Mirza Hashem, later on, he'll speak about that. And so it's a big Yeshakayach Avi to you and to all the Mispalim, and it's a big schos that we know that in Beis Gimel, our shul, which we have in the morning, 6:30 in the morning is not easy to get up. And Baruch Hashem, we have more and more of a Olam coming, and online we have a big crowd as well. And then it came Meseches Sotah, and I was speaking on the first day Pesach. I was speaking to Rabbi Yosef and Mendel Sofer and a few other people. I said, and Mordechai, and I said, guys, what do you think? Let's make a minyan and let's learn Sotah together. And they're like, okay, yeah, like everybody, we'll learn one or two blot, we'll get excited. And I say, no, we're doing this, and we're doing this right. And then one thing led to another. I was speaking to, and I want to give a bigger shekayach to Mika and Yossi Sofer for pushing this every single night. They didn't ask me for $1. They didn't ask me for anything. They have a big schus for pushing Torah to the masses. And we made a WhatsApp group, and we had 400 people. And I can tell you, there's so many people. Most of the people in the room that registered, I don't personally know who you are yet. But Hashem, we're going to meet, and we're going to connect, and we're going to learn the next Masech, and the next Sikha, and the next Maimer. But it's really thanks to you for really pushing and bringing Torah to the masses and using your technology, using your infrastructure, what you have to really bring Chassidus and Torah to the masses. I want to thank also, who was in the Koilo for a few years, Moshe Hanoka, who was also big behind the scenes pushing the shiurim. Yossi Lapinski, who's in the Koilo this year, he comes every night to record the shir. And as mentioned before, people ask me all the time, I don't understand, when do you have time? You work, you learn, you this, you that. Look, it's very simple. Everybody gets up at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. I get up at 4 o'clock. But in order to prepare a good shir, you have to have, for me at least, you have to have a good chavrusa. And that's good thanks to Remendel Perlstein, who we've been learning since Masechta Barachas together. And Baruch Hashem, he prepares the shir every day with me in the morning. I want to thank as well Rabbi Avram Rotban from Irgun Torah. And then I want to thank as well, in order to be matzliach, you have to delegate. We have a koilel, we have a great Rosh Koilel over here, Rabbi Shuchat, the Skan Rosh Koilel. Why? You delegate, you get good staff, and they make things happen. And in order for the shiurim to just the graphics, and it was a very professional, everything Baruch Hashem we did was on a very professional, high level. So that's thanks to the Raised On staff, that's thanks to Yochi Karmi, my brother-in-law Zevi Kugel, Levi Sudak, and everybody from the Raised On staff. And last but not least, I want to thank, he doesn't like when I do this, but I'm going to do it because it's the right thing to do. And really behind the scenes, you see all the events that we do, Baruch Hashem, are very successful, and it's all with his input in an edel way, in a very Tzneah Lechesdik way, but always he hits a home run, as they say, and that's thanks to Reb Shnei Najjar from Merkez 302 for helping putting this beautiful, beautiful event together.